Joining me now with their grades for the headliners, conservative commentator Kirsten Haglund and Democratic strategist Sascha Burns. Good to see you, ladies. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good to be here.
All right,
Yeah,
so
thanks,
Kirsten,
Maria.
let me kick it off with you. Let's go through it. First, President Obama. How would you grade President Obama's speech last night?
You know, I gave the president a B-, and that's because he came out, he was his typical, very optimistic self. He gave a beautiful speech by many accounts, and he did what he did in 2008. He riled up people's emotions and gave them a feeling of hope. So it was good from that perspective, but it was difficult to stomach his arguments on the fact that he's arguing for Hillary Clinton, saying there's all these things wrong that only she can fix, and yet if they've gone wrong, it's directly because of his record. So it was hard to kind of square that. And at the end of the day, people are not going to vote for Barack Obama. They're going to vote for Hillary Clinton. So he set the bar pretty high for her tomorrow night because she needs to come out and really engage people emotionally like he did. And she has shown on the campaign trail and other times that she's not always the greatest at that.
Sascha.
Well, what a great night to be a Democrat. And what a great night to be an American. After watching the Republicans last week, it was really nice to be reminded we are great. And no, we don't need you, Donald Trump, to make us great because we already are. And that was the part that President Obama was talking about. And it's not just about sort of empty rhetoric and inspiration. It's about reality.
Sounds like you're giving him an A.
I give him an A+++.
A++++. All right, Vice President Biden, who's I've really liked on both sides of the aisle. What do you think, Kirsten?
Yeah, I mean, I gave Joe Biden a solid A. I mean, that was a fantastic performance. I mean, let's be honest. He was very patriotic. He was very passionate. And here's the thing that Joe Biden does really well. And I would ask my fellow Republicans to really listen here, okay? He is real. He's authentic. He connects with the American people in a way that doesn't just highlight what's wrong with their life. He also lifts them up. And that's what Republicans really need to do. So I think if anyone in the GOP was watching last night, they can really take a leaf out of Joe Biden's book, and I give him a solid A.
It was a good speech, Shelby.
It was an excellent speech. And, you know, he looked at the teleprompter. I was sitting there working, but I couldn't help but look up because he would just engage with that teleprompter and say, I know Hillary Clinton, and just 100% convicted in everything he was saying. That's why Joe Biden is Joe Biden.
Yeah, Sascha.
Uncle Joe. That's right. Absolutely. He's just, you know, he's wonderful. And he really addressed the middle class. And Democrats aren't saying there isn't work still to be done. We're saying that's why we need, or my favorite, as Bloomberg said, somebody sane and competent. Okay? We'll go with that.
Well, and you notice he didn't really give a ringing endorsement for Hillary Clinton. He just painted Donald Trump as a dangerous candidate.
But really his personal story, when he talked about the loss of his son, he's been through so much in his life. And I think that really touched a lot of people, and how he is able to remain so optimistic after everything he's been through. I mean, I don't know how you can't help but like the guy. And he's from Scranton, where my husband's from, so
he's got that coming from. All right, then there's Senator Tim Kaine. Now, this was a risk that he took because not only is he out sort of being an attack dog against Donald Trump, but this is the first time that America is meeting Senator Kaine in some regard, certainly for as their vice presidential pick. How do you grade Senator Kaine, Kirsten?
I gave Senator Kaine a C+. So he was average. He was a little above average. This was his chance to really knock it out of the park, and he did a great job of kind of highlighting some of his more progressive positions, which he really had to do because of the criticism of his being too conservative. He did that with his speaking Spanish, with his Si se puede. You know, that went over so well in the audience, as well as talking about his positions on gun control. But at the end of the day, he's just perfectly normal. He's not that exciting. He's not that engaging. And I'll tell you, they really need the millennial vote to turn out. And so that's what I was worried about. He's another old white guy, and he's really going to have to bump up his energy and enthusiasm in a way to really connect with the audience outside of the plea and the pandering to Hispanic voters like he did last night.
Yeah, especially but the Sanders supporters we know are not fans, Sascha.
You know, some of them aren't. You're absolutely right. But a lot of the Sanders supporters, the millennials, are people that don't tend to vote. Most of the Bernie supporters that I've been talking to here are going to vote with Hillary. And it's the same, again, as Bloomberg said, to independents as well. It doesn't matter. You can disagree with her all you want, sane and competent.
But, Sascha, what did you think about when he was doing the believe me? And it didn't make me laugh, but I kept thinking about Rubio and how he did that on the Pride Me and how it really backfired. And I was thinking of this in the context of this is his introduction to a national audience. So do you think maybe that was a weird way to introduce by having him mock Trump in a fake New York accent?
Well, being from West Virginia, I would practice my accent first. I think he could have worked on that. You know, I mean, Tim Kaine was between Joe Biden and Bloomberg. He wasn't picked because he's exciting. He was picked because he's kind of an old white guy.
But the believe me impersonation, I mean, was it appropriate? Was it what he should be doing on day one of saying hello to the American people?
I had no problem.
You had no problem.
I had no problem with it.
It just wasn't the progressive message that
going.
voters wanted to hear.
Yeah. Go ahead, Kirsten, real quick.
Yeah. No, well, no, it just kept going and going, and I was like, okay, is he going to stop with this riff already? And just his arguing about how trustworthy Hillary Clinton is just totally ironic, given the fact that she's lied to the American people.
All right, we'll leave it there. Kirsten Haglund, Sascha Burns, good to see you both.